From the Gulf, the Atlantic, fan favorites are out there on a mission to find billfish. That's their goal, and our goal is to tell you all about it. I'm Robbie Floyd, joined by the three-time world sailfish champion, Peter Miller. We'll have Rudy Tamarcho here in just a little bit. Welcome to SFC Plus. Peter, it's going to be a little bit different today. Only 4 boats out on the water, but the best of the best are out there.
And we're seeing a little different scenario here because we have 3 center console boats, and then we have a glass tech walk around, but they're all fast. They move around quite a bit. They're fishing shallow water, very close to shore, very different than what we've seen throughout the season.
One thing I haven't mentioned is where they're fishing from, and they all took off from the islands of Islamorada Resort. Islamorada, I've been there many times. Beautiful place. I mean, that is a fish haven, but they will actually make a run, or they did make a run this morning to get a little distance from Islamorada.
Yeah, and it's a question of where the fish are biting. You know, sometimes this time of the year, November, December, the fish get up into the sand, they call it, 20, 30 feet, and they're feeding on ballyhoo. But you really need something like the birds. You need the birds to start congregating, the ballyhoo are congregating, and they get what's called showered. The sailfish come up and they shower the ballyhoo bait, and then you race in on them and you throw 1 perfect bait. You don't throw 2 because it'll confuse them. 1 perfect bait, and they'll come up and eat it in 20 feet of water, and it's a beautiful sight.
One thing is we're going to have a lot to talk about because, again, with limited boats, and this is Peter's water. He knows everything about this, and I promise you, he's wishing he wishes he was out there. I wish I was out there with him, and we thought we were going to get to go, but we're inside our beautiful SFC studios. Let's talk about the rules, Peter. They very simple, I think, if you've been following the Sport Fishing Championship for the past few years.
Well, pretty much they have a 50-mile nautical boundary, unlimited number of teasers and lines allowed. You know, typically it's 6 to 7, both scored independently and added to division total, and then you have the catch points with the blue marlin for 450, the white marlin for 100, spearfish, pretty rare, 100 points, but mainly we're going to see sailfish today at 75 points apiece.
Keep adding them up, and they have been catching them this morning. Again, they took off. Shotgun start at 7 a.m. They'll fish from 8 to 3 p.m. Eastern time. But the things that happened throughout the week, they started with the media day this morning, that shotgun start that I talked about. Our Citizen Lines Out will be later on this afternoon. We'll be covering it throughout the entirety. If it's not on SFC Plus, we'll follow along with ESPN Plus after this.
That's right, because lines are out at 3 p.m. They had a shotgun start this morning at 7 a.m. The lines were in at 8, so you had an hour to run to get to your spot if you chose to do that. And then the same for that. A Sunday, we also have an 8 a.m. lines in, and then we have a 3 p.m. lines out. So we're going to be with you for all of it, and we're going to capture all the action here.
Long day for them. Again, I know you wish you were out there. Let's take a look at what's happening out on the water. I saw just a moment ago, we can see what you can't for just a little bit. Anybody hooked up at the moment? Doesn't look like it, Peter. Looks like one of our teams is actually, well, they're cooking a little bit.
Yeah, looks like
they're moving.
They're making a little run there on the 2 conchs. You know, they have 2 conchs is a charter operation out of the Keys, out of Marathon, and they supplied 2 boats. And then you've got JC, Clear, and Sarah, who have the remix boats. They've got the 43-foot center console, and they also have their glass tech walk around, which is a little bit of a sport fish boat, if you will.
So you fans of baseball, when you have the All-Star game, you have the American League versus the National League. That's what we have here. We have the Gulf versus the Atlantic. We've already had some trash talking. Rudy will tell us more about that. Again, they got to have a lovely dinner last night. But again, these teams are going at it, Gulf versus Atlantic. And looking at the tally as it stands right now, I believe 5 or 6 fish. It looked like 6 sailfish have now been caught. And they're working up those points totals as it stands. Again, every sailfish worth 75. But right now, we've got a leader. How long will it stay that way? Stick with us here on the Islands of Islamorada All-Star Weekend, presented by AFCO.
Any fish, any water.
Ideally positioned in the heart of the Florida Keys, the islands of Islamorada is a sanctuary for those craving both luxury and adventure. These stunning oceanfront villas and suites open onto private balconies with endless sea views. Spend your days snorkeling vibrant reefs, casting off on a sport fishing charter, or unwinding by the oceanfront pools. Start planning your getaway today and mention this ad when booking to receive a special rate. The Islands of Islamorada. Your island escape begins here.
So as we went to break, we saw that the Gulf Division had a 4-2 lead in sailfish count. You see both Gulf teams up at the top of your screen, the Atlantic Division down below. Welcome to SFC All-Star Weekend presented by APCO. Looks like Kenny's trying to reel something.
Well, you know, what we're seeing here is we see Kenny and it looks like JC, I can't tell, but they're doing a little casting right there, and there's some birds around, and there's another boat very close to them, which tells me they're kind of casting near the flyers that the sailfish are pushing up, the flying fish and the ballyhoo.
And Blaine Birch obviously not with a rod and reel in his hand. Yeah, he's checking on social media right now. Typically the captain you would see on the New Jersey Seabirds on the bottom right there. He's probably trying to get into SFC Plus to see if we show him enough.
And gather some more information. Maybe call somebody and get a little info.
True that. Yeah.
That's what a lot of captains do. They're just stuck to their phones trying to figure out who's doing what and where.
One thing we haven't talked about is the teams and how they're consistent. This is probably our strongest team. Wouldn't you say? A sailfish team in sailfish country. These are their waters, their boat. JC clear, Sarah Malia clear, Kenny Hernandez and Stephen Lackey. I think they are the team to beat if you're just looking at it empirically.
And if you see what he just did, he grabbed a fresh ballyhoo out of the bow bait well, and he just hooks it in with a circle hook and flips it right out there. They're in some fish right now. You see the bird right to his left? He's going to recast at that bird, I bet.
All right, you see, Kenny, I mentioned some of them. Let's meet this team representing the Atlantic.
Right here to the left, Kenny. JC Clear, All-Star Captain, East Coast Remix.
Sarah Malia, All-Star Angler, East Coast Remix.
Kenny Hernandez, All-Star Angler, East Coast Remix.
Stephen Lackey, All-Star Mate, South Carolina Outcast.
So Robbie, if you notice they're pitching out fresh ballyhoo. They've got spinning reels, they've got kite equipment, they've got a little bit of everything. They had a frigate up above and Kenny's casting under those birds. They were bumping ahead to get right to that bird because they want to cast right on that sailfish's head. You don't want to get it behind the fish, but you want to get it right on their nose. That's where you want to cast it, and you want to throw one bait, not two, and you want it to be in perfect condition. You see the bird sitting right above, up in the right-hand corner of your screen, and that is a sailfish. I'm sure they've seen it already. They wouldn't be spending so much time. That's actually a bird looking down, but you see his body language, and they're peeking down like that. They're watching it, and they're waiting for that sailfish to scare up some bait so that guy can swoop down and try to eat. But there was also a frigate off to the right.
So you are getting a sailfish tutorial here as they're trying to stir up some business. They see something, but they already have one in the boat early this morning. Actually had the first catch of the day. This was this morning at the 10 o'clock hour, about 10:15. Sarah Malia clear, and looked a little clearer this morning.
Yeah, well, the wind picked up a little bit. A little bit of a cold front action comes through and it stalls out, and then something else pushes through. And I think tomorrow the wind gets a little lighter and the temperature drops a tiny bit, but it looks pretty sailfishy out there.
It's like 2006, right?
She's very casual right now. Very casual, just taking up that slack.
But I guess the baseball team got it. Not the football team.
Peter, she looks exact opposite of what I look like when you took me out sailfishing. She looks like she's composed and knows what she's doing, where I, on the other hand, was not composed, nor did I know what I was doing.
Well, it was your first one. She's caught probably 1,000 now, so she's adept at winding on these fish. She's obviously using the kite. That's the cork. So they were kite fishing there with the conventional setups. This doesn't feel like I can't really tell what it is. She's so calm and casual. It's definitely racing around the boat.
And again, you don't want a big fish. You just want the right style of fish.
And this almost feels like a mahi the way she's treating it. But now she's taking her jacket off. So maybe it's taking a little longer than usual, but normally they'd be racing around trying to get that leader. He's got his 43-foot center console, the Remix.
She meant business if she took the jacket off, right? I mean, so it come close to the boat, but weren't able to identify and be a qualified catch.
Yeah, she's super casual about it. It's not like her. And normally they'd be going after the fish, trying to get that leader. Put her up on the bow of the boat, and they'll race at the fish. They'll get up on the bow. The guys will belly up on the bow like a harp seal and try to reach as far as they can. Yep. They take a raptor. These guys are using 25-pound to 30-pound fluoro leader, believe it or not. This is lighter than what the guys are using bass fishing. And you're using a 3.0 hook, maybe a 4, maybe a 5 at best. And you want really small profile everything when you're fishing for sailfish down in the Keys or down in that area. And you may break a few off, you may wrap a few up and the leader will chafe off, but for the most part, it's very light tackle. They're using 12-pound, 16-pound tests for their main line or even 20-pound test, but the 16 and the 12 flies really well through the kite on certain days, and it's very easy to adjust your bait when you're using that lighter line because you don't get that big belly. Okay, the fact that he's on the engine means it's a sailfish.
Sharkies?
Beautiful engines
Right on the right long.
Yeah, hammer.
Yeah, T or whatever.
The new ones.
Yeah.
There is that leader. We want to see it, JC.
Wow. Super cash. That's a 75-pointer right there. That's an Atlantic sailfish.
All right, there's your last clip.
Miami. Beautiful.
Now we got the peepers out on it. There she is, right underneath the surface. Again, this was the first catch of the morning of all of our teams representing the Atlantic Division. As we saw
it was all darkened up
earlier,
too, you know?
The Gulf Division is in the lead, but didn't start out that way. First fish caught.
Is this going to be? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Ah, shit. Hang on.
JC up at the tower, staying there. He's got it strapped down. You see he's got straps up there.
Peter, they're deploying the kites. We'll talk about them. A lot of people have no idea what kite fishing is all about. You're about to break it down a little bit, but there you go. There's the first vision of one. They'll all be doing it probably this week. I'm jealous.
You know, sometimes my life can be a little crazy. That's why when you find stability, you gotta grab it and hold on to it. Like how Verizon just lets you lock in a low price for 3 years. Even if you're already a customer. Is that even real? That's not just for me. And they give you a free phone on any plan. Who's doing that? Nobody. Come on, what's better than that? Probably nothing. Yeah, nothing.
It's hard to beat out here catching very quality fish that taste very good. And
looking good. Big tuna right here for the boys.
Nothing but monsters. Beautiful fish, John. That's why you come hang out with us boys right here.
SFC All-Star Weekend is brought to you by APTCO, Islands of Islamorada Resort, the host resort of SFC All-Star Week, and by Citizen Watch. Welcome back inside our studios. You see the beautiful Islands of Islamorada there on site. Peter, you're not going to see us there on site. We get to be in the studio, but look what I got. My Christmas came early. I know Citizen was the last one.
Let me see that thing.
Citizen Attesta.
Ooh, that's nice.
Yep, baby. Titanium, GPS.
Wow.
I am locked up. I'm waiting for my Citizen's lines out, and I don't even need to look at the screen. I can look straight at my watch because this thing is dialed. I had to show you. I know you've been a Citizen guy for many, many years, but now I'm hooked up as well. Like to thank them. A lot of things to look for, Peter, and as we went to break, we saw that kite being deployed. This will be what we'll see throughout. We might not necessarily see them up in the air, but they are using kites for the most part.
Yeah, and it's very different than what we're used to seeing. We're seeing big, beautiful center consoles with Mercury engines on the back, and they're just blazing around, getting to the spots that they want to get to real quickly, and they have a 360 view. You know, when you have a center console, you can have guys up in the bow, they're ready to cast, they have bait wells up in the bow, and everything's a lot faster. The fish are smaller. They're very fast. The sailfish is faster than a blue marlin, faster than a white, faster than a spear, at 72 miles an hour the clock. But you see my guy, it looks like Austin there from Two Conchs, majestically posing there for the camera as they race ahead on their yellowfin. Great family of guys that have a lot of charter boats in operation down the Keys. And you see below that, you've got Sarah with her kite out there, green SFE kite. That's kind of like that mid-range kite, that 15 to 18 to 20 mile an hour if you need it. You want to fly it as low as possible because you've got your line clipped in to the clip. So when it does unclip and you come tight on your fish, you want as little line falling as possible. If it's way up in the sky and it's not adjusted with a bridle, you're going to have a lot of line falling, so it takes a while to come tight. These reels are very fast, 7.2 to 1, so you're going to get a very fast retrieve. But as soon as you're about to come tight, you want to slow it down because you don't want to pull the hook out of the fish. It's like almost setting the hook if you go too fast.
So that kite, if you're unfamiliar, they're almost like bobbing for fish. You want that bait to be in the water, but it presents it higher up and multiple baits in the column. But the amount of focus you have to have right here is unbelievable. I never knew that sitting in this chair. When I went out with you and seeing what Sarah sees there, I know what it takes to pay attention to keep those baits in perfect condition where they need to be in that water.
Yep, you learn very quickly. So as you see her watching the bait, she's got 3. Typically, you're going to have one angler with 3 baits.
Just put the cork in the water.
You're going to have 3 other baits on the left side on the left kite, and somebody else will be working those. Some people sit, some people stand. I like to stand. He's saying put the corks in the water, which means that the weight isn't enough to keep the bait in the water. So you'll set a weight above the swivel, which is a 15-foot leader with a bait on it. Above that, it's connected to a snap swivel, and then you'll have a speed ring and a cork and a weight. Now, if you switch real quickly, okay, let's cut to this. We have a sailfish catch from earlier. It looks like, well, we're back to Sarah there, but it gives you an idea of the different setups. You know, you can see them sitting, standing, whatever it takes, but as long as you keep your eyes on those baits, that's the key.
Yeah, we just had a little glitch in the matrix there, Peter, but we did have a catch earlier with this team and changed it up just a little bit, but either way, it's Atlantic points for this team, and this is about an hour and 15 minutes or so after Sarah caught the first fish of the day, and it does look like the wind's starting to create a few more rollers out there and some more overcast type conditions. But Kenny Hernandez on the rod.
He is hooked up, and that was a kite bite. That was her second kite bite, so obviously you could tell that's what they started with. We saw them a little bit ago, all throwing spinners, and that's the key. You've got to be really ready for everything. People say, why do you need 25 rods when you go fishing and 80 rod holders on your boat? I'm telling you, that is the key to success. Having everything at your disposal when the moment arises, that fish arises, and you can get a bait to it.
In a perfect world, everybody on that boat, everybody on deck has a rod and reel in their hand and a fish on. That's a perfect world.
And you always follow your fish. You want to run up to the bow. Robbie, you know that better than anybody.
Yep.
We ran around my boat when you caught your first fish probably 50 times.
And there's a lot of May pops that can happen. You got to keep the line away from, you know, the bow, the edge there, because you never know where there might be one little nick in the surface. I know you have a pristine boat, but you just got to make sure.
But you should never really have an issue with rubbing on the boat if you do it for this long. You follow your fish. You stay with your fish. It's like fishing on the beach. If you're beach fishing and the fish goes 150 yards down the beach, you're going to run alongside it and keep winding. So when this fish goes up to the bow, you're going to move instantly and then come back around. You never want it to go under the boat.
Yeah, say Kenny's right here and this fish wants to come at him and head straight under. I mean, that can be panicky. Do they do that like a bass fish does?
Completely, and way faster. They're going 72 miles an hour. You can have them right here on the bow, and that fish will race under the boat, come out the other side faster than you know it. But they're ready for it. You dip your rod, you can back the drag off so there's not heavy pressure under the boat, And there's a lot of different techniques, but you can see they're firing over to this fish. They're going to get the leader right now.
And look at that, reaching all the way up and a lot higher up there on the front end of that boat, especially going into waves like that. Some back and forth, but high fives for Kenny. That is the second fish for the Atlantic. Actually, they are the only boat between the two from the Atlantic to catch.
I think I may be geeking out on this kite fishing. I apologize to everybody.
It does look chilly. You see Sarah back again with the coat. So cool conditions does it not favor this early in the season?
This is what you want. You want cooler conditions. You want a little bit of a breeze. You know, when that wind switches from our typical traditional east wind and it clocks around to the west and then it comes from the north and a little chill comes through, the bait pushes down from the north to the south. So you want to be that northern boat if you can, because the fish will swim from north to south. So if you're north, you're going to get the first shot. Sometimes the fish will swim under you and go to the next boat, so that does happen.
Watch, they're gonna come in like 5 minutes before we're about to leave.
The other Atlantic team doing their best. Again, 2 Atlantic, 2 Gulf.
Looks like Shelby Callison over there.
Yeah, she's representing the New York Granders. We did see, I think it was Blaine Birch giving some tips, or getting some tips from Tucker Carmichael. There's Tucker. Rob, his
Tucker's
father on board.
Dude, yep.
We're alive. Where's my guys at?
So we're seeing them on board. Let's meet this second Atlantic Division team.
Blaine Birch, All-Star captain, New Jersey Seabirds.
Tucker Carmichael, All-Star mate, Lights Out Boston.
Rob Carmichael, All-Star angler, Lights Out Boston.
Shelby Callison, All-Star angler from the New York Granders.
There they are, and everybody's a favorite, but this is a team. I mean, when you look at the talent on board that boat and all of our boats, I expect them to be hooked up any second now. I mean, they're well versed from the north end of the Atlantic all the way to the southern tip of the Atlantic.
Yeah, and you got Shelby Callison over there vying for top sailfish angler, top sailfish releases from the Silver Sailfish Derby and the Palm Beach Club there. So this is where it all started for her. This is her spot. She's got her Canada Dry over there, sipping on a little bubble.
I thought you were going to say gin and juice for a moment.
I was going to,
actually. Laid back.
My mind on my money and my money on my mind. It looks like they're putting that rod away after a catch, or they're going to make a move. That's how you store it. You wind it around the side. You've got your fluorocarbon leader. They're taking that one out of commish right now.
And they've got their peepers on. We've met both of our Atlantic teams. We're going to step aside here in just a bit. Oh, there's Sarah, making sure that bait is presented properly. We come back, we're going to get to meet our Gulf teams as well. This is the team in the lead already with 4 sailfish on the board. Let's find out who got them and when.
It's hard to beat out here catching very quality fish that taste very good. And
looking good. Big tuna right here for the boys.
Nothing but monsters.
Beautiful fish, John. That's why you come hang out with us boys right here.
Not really big into committing to things. I usually stop binging the show halfway through the first episode. I mean, remember when my hair was blonde for like 2 seconds? But when Verizon announced that I could lock in a low price for 3 years for both phone and internet, even if I'm already a customer, I was like, duh. I think 3 years in the future, Pete will be very proud of my decision. Look at me grow. Come on! Can you hear me now? I sure hope so.
When the ocean calls,
only the bold answer. Out here, nothing compares to the thrill of the fight. When you hook a tournament-winning fish, you need a boat that's as relentless as you are. Unmatched power, unparalleled craftsmanship, the confidence to push further, fish harder, and arrive in style. HCB Yachts, the ultimate sport fishing experience.
Welcome back to the Sport Fishing Championship. It's SFC All-Star Weekend presented by APCO. Boats are rocking and a rolling. The best of the Gulf and the best of the Atlantic out there.
And that's the difference with the V-hulls. Typically you're going to have the Seakeeper, and then you have the Cat hull, which we see there. Looks like, you know, a little rocking and rolling. Not very common to have a Seakeeper and a Cat.
Both 30-something foot boats, 39 yellowfin and a 36 walk around for the Remix 2 out there, but 2 conchs and Remix 2. These boats are used to fishing these waters. Perfect setup for them. And again, you talk about the mobility as we look at these 2 Gulf teams. The mobility, being able to move around, run to the front, run to the back, run all the way around 360 is perfect for this style of fishing.
Sneak under you real quick, sorry. No, we just went
Again, just like baseball, it's like the Atlantic, or the American League versus the National League.
This is an interesting look right there. Those are the cluster rod holders, the Tritons, and my drink holders always pop out. So I'm trying to figure out how they're keeping theirs in there. They're cup holders.
Gulf Division teams, Remix 2, that 36 walk around. Let's meet the anglers on board this boat.
Lori McDowell, All-Star Angler, Gulf Coast Cowboy.
Mick Becker, average mate, semi-professional Halo player, Gulf Coast Cowboys.
Bob Oderman, All-Star mate, Louisiana Canyons.
Oh, I love live television, Peter. I mean, it happens. And it happened at 11:39 for this team, the Gulf Division team, earlier this morning on Remix 2. Let's see how it went down. And this would be the second Gulf catch of the day. We didn't get footage of Jeff Eiseneck and his catch at 10:32.
Looks like Lori McDowell there in the corner.
Bottom left.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wait a second. I'm using 16-pound test right now.
I know all about 16-pound test.
One of the boats is screaming south now. JC said.
Lori representing the Gulf Coast Cowboys.
I didn't pass it. So always set up
Always nice to support your angler as they crab walk across the pit. The crab walk's very important. You never want to run unless you're running up the gunnel to get to the bow. It looks like you can see.
You're looking for a location identifier, aren't you?
I didn't expect that.
Everybody went north, though. We know they went north. How far north is the question? They go all the way up to Key Largo?
Well, no. I think they went off. I think the most northern boat, there it is, jumping there in the background. Very acrobatic. That's what we love about the sail fishing. They're always in the air. That's typical. And if they don't jump when you first hook up with them, it's either a different species or the fish is foul hooked or something to that. Something of that nature. But typically, sailfish come up jumping, and it's the spectacular jumps that keeps us coming back. And high speed, they swim in packs. You know, there's a lot of activity when the sail fishing is good.
Come on, Laura, keep it going.
You can run that kite line through a rigger clip, but right now you see him manually putting it up, getting it out of her way so she can pass around it if she needs to go to the bow. Go, Lori, go.
Cranking away. I'm a right-hand reeler, boy. You put that in my left hand, I'm spun. It's like I got 2 left hands.
Oh, you never gave up, Robbie.
No.
That's what I tell my son Maverick all the time. I said, never give up, give it one more try. And he's like, he looks at me and I'm thinking he's never going to try it again, but he always does.
Well, we did see some weather differences. It looked like earlier this morning, it looked a little calmer and the wind started picking up. Clouds rolled in.
This is good sail fishing weather. I like it.
There we go.
All right, that's on the leader. That is a leader with a uni knot to the main line. And that's why you don't see a cork or anything like that. They got one under their belts. 11:39 for Lori McDowell.
Great job, Lori. Nick Becker, Bobby Holderman on board out there. Redeploy, get ready to go catch another one. On the Gulf Boat 1, the Two Conchs 39 yellowfin. A couple other studs on board. Jeff Eiseneck, we've seen on the West Florida Black Flags throughout the season, as well as Danny Watts. Captain Danny actually getting to fish this time, though. It's good to see that.
Love to see that. The captains, you know, they do so much work up there in the tower, and they're so hyper-focused on so many different things that they have to do all at once. But to be down in the pit, to be able to watch 3 baits, it's a lot to look at, but it's not as stressful, and it's not all on you. As the captain, there's a lot expected of you. But you could tell the Keys boat here, they've got that cutting board built into their rod holes. It looks like they've got a tuna tube on either side. They got their Mercs in the back. And, you know, he could be using a rod cluster right now with the 3 reels right next to each other. I like to do that. But sometimes, you know, you just pop 2 in that transom holder there, and then the other rod is in that 45 holder.
Jeff Eiseneck represented the Gulf, been doing this a long time. Again, caught that first fish for the Gulf at 10:32 this morning. Didn't get footage of that. This is a guy who fishes these waters a lot. Been down here for quite a while. So is there another favorite? Yeah, this could be one.
You know, the guys that spend the most time on the water, and then you've got the guys that fish the tournaments for most of their time as opposed to, you know, fishing for charters and things like that. But, you know, when you're out on the water all the time, you just know what's happening, you know what the conditions are, you're receiving information from everybody out there, and you're just learning a lot every day. But when you travel around and you pop in and you try to fish a tournament, you haven't been there, it can be kind of tough. So this area bridges the gap between Marathon and Ocean Reef, and these guys are very familiar. All boats are very familiar with these waters. I think where JC and Sarah and Kenny started this morning, they were off Ocean Reef, and there's an area called the Green Door. You get there first thing in the morning, there's a tide that goes through this rock area, and you could pretty much guarantee the fish are going to be moving through this Green Door area, and you're going to be right on it.
It's a fish freeway, right? Basically.
What's that?
Fish freeway, basically.
Exactly, yeah. And it's called the Green Door, very well known, pretty classic, especially when the bite's low. You want to go to those spots that you know are going to hold fish, and that is one of them.
Got a lot more catches to look at. We're here on SFC Plus for another half an hour. We'll show you more when we come back.
It's hard to beat out here catching very quality fish that taste very good. And
looking good. Big tuna right here for the boys.
Nothing but monsters.
Beautiful fish, John. That's why you come hang out with us boys right here.
You know, sometimes my life could be a little crazy. That's why when you find stability, you gotta grab it and hold on to it. Like how Verizon just lets you lock in a low price for 3 years, even if you're already a customer. Is that even real? That's not just for me. And they give you a free phone on any plan. Who's doing that? Nobody. Come on, what's better than that? Probably nothing. Yeah, nothing.
SFC All-Star Weekend is brought to you by Key Largo Fisheries, Extra Tough, and by One Water Marine. We've seen some rocking and rolling out there. Better have those Extra Tough boots on. Things get a little slippery out there, but no problems when you got the Extra Tough. Welcome inside our SFC studio. They did not just do that, did they, Peter? Did they?
Wow.
Did they just put the Islands of Islamorada Resort behind us when we were going not too long ago?
I was wondering when this wall would light up behind us with something special, and this is quite special. This is an LED wall. You wouldn't think it. It looks exactly like a movie theater screen.
I feel like we're on the beach right now.
I don't know. It feels wonderful. Like I'm just loving this set here at TBN. I mean, we feel like we're right there.
Yeah, it's a great resort, though. If you had the opportunity to go down there and check it out, they are the host facilities for all of our cast, our crew, and our anglers. Although we weren't there, we're here, we're in the studio, but we can see everything that goes down, and these are your people. These are your kind of things to do. You love sail fishing. He's won 3 World Sailfish Championships, and we are in those waters. These are your waters. And rockier waters as the day looks like it's progressing, and it looks like one team's on the move now.
Yeah, you know, you've got the 4 teams getting out there. It's a little sloppy. It's a little, it's a little chillier than normal, which we like. We like all these conditions. The bite is not fast and furious, but they are catching. You know, we've got Atlantic boats with fish. We've got Gulf boats with fish. We've got center consoles going at high rates of speed, and then we've also got the 36 glass tech. So we've got 2 boats are from the 2 Conchs charter operation down at Marathon, and then we got 2 boats from JC, the 2 remixes. One is a 42-foot center console with Mercs, and then of course the glass tech, which we see right there, running not too fast, you know, nice pace. You can hear the turbos kicked in there. Going fast enough, I'll tell you. So the key is, Robbie, really, really good baits. I mean, you'll probably hear stories, or maybe we'll even talk to JC over the weekend, and we'll hear about all the baits they caught and what kind of bait they caught and how you dip them one by one out of your bait well once you catch them. So when you're catching them, you dehook them one by one. Never touch them. Never put the pH level or the acidity from your skin onto the skin of the fish, because it'll actually deteriorate their slime coating, not make them look so good. You can actually see the lines of your hand. The goal is take them off, and then when you net them and you want to store them in your pens, which they have these big giant containers with holes in them, they put styrofoam floats, they tie to them, they put a lid with a lock, believe it or not, because people will steal your bait if they can't catch their own. It's a pretty sad situation. Not necessarily down here, but we've had it happen before up in different areas. But they're going to dip them one by one into their pen, and in the morning they're going to dip them right back into their boat one by one, because you don't want to keep your bait wells running overnight if you don't have to. Some boats, the bigger boats, typically will. You'll keep at least, enough to get going just in case you have a problem. People use bleach at the marina to clean their boats. It washes over your baits, they're dead.
Yeah, they're done.
And you've spent, 2-3 days working on getting them, acquiring them. That's not what you want.
Hold on now. Remember I was talking about the Extra Tough and slippery? We almost had a rider down for a moment. Look at our 2 Gulf teams up the top, 2 Atlantic teams down the bottom. Your big boat, small boat, or smallest boat, that 36 walk around. That doesn't mean just because you're on a small boat doesn't mean you can't catch fish. And just because they're fishing for sailfish doesn't mean you can't catch multiple.
I cut my teeth on a 22-foot center console, and we fished in the nastiest conditions, and we caught them all day long.
Well, let's take a look again a little earlier, 11:52 local time. That was aboard that 36 walk around, the Gulf boat number 2. We saw earlier Lori McDowell with a catch. Now let's see what happens here. We see Lori hook up again.
Yeah, so a lot of these situations with the center consoles versus a sport fish, quasi sport fish, like this, you're going to fight it from the back of the boat, but you can go up to the front of the boat. But if it's sloppy, you know, the throw from on the bow is pretty substantial. You can see her in the back already bobbing up and down pretty good. So if you get up to the bow and you start racing at a fish, you're not used to it, you're going to get thrown around a little bit. So the transom's the way to go. But if you do back up and you start going up sea or into the waves, it can get pretty sloppy and the water will come over the gunnel and start filling the cockpit on those boats. They're used to it, you know. And if it's really cold out, maybe your extra toughs are going to be knee-high instead of ankle-high. That fish looks like they either got the release or it came off, but we are looking to see what's going on. I still hear drag going.
Yeah, they reported a double up at one point. I believe Nick Becker, and we don't see Nick, do we?
Right? Oh, dude, it's all heavy. Everything's heavy.
There we go. Power reeling, power reeling.
Trying to get tight. You snapped out of the kite, maybe?
This is good. No salt water in the camera. But if you don't pay attention,
now we got a little walk over, clean house. So I'm not really sure if that was a qualified catch. Again, just like as always, they'll have to have somebody video verification on board throughout the time. But yeah, Nick's hooked up. Nick,
got him on. He's following that fish. He's got. I love the amount of tools everybody's wearing these days. When we first started this thing, we'd be lucky if we had anything on the boat. And I'm noticing every mate, every angler's got 2 sets of snippers and pliers and cutters and you name it.
They got smarter somewhere along the way, Peter. I don't understand how that happens.
There's nothing better than being prepared, Robbie. Measure once, cut twice. Measure once, cut twice. You see that kite line laying in the water?
Was that your construction worker theory?
Yeah. I was telling somebody yesterday, I'm like, you got to measure twice and cut once, you know, for the love of Pete. But you see the kite line kind of, it's falling in the water. Maybe the kite went down. He's definitely holding something off of the angler right now. And it looks like some green braid, which would tell me it's coming from the actual electric kite rod. There it is, nice sailfish backing into it.
The jumper.
They're gonna go for it. They want this fish. They want this fish. They're already wrapped up in the tower with the kite line. You know, that happens on these boats as well.
Well, they're taking on some water, pushing back, or just holding that position.
Look at that. That's just absolutely beautiful. Coming back hard on that fish. Wow.
Great shot. Becker representing the Gulf Coast Cowboys, as well as Lori McDowell, Bobby Holderman on board there with the Louisiana Canyons team.
Is that Nick Becker?
Sick move.
Yep.
35.
Beautiful, beautiful jumps.
Yeah, they were.
It's funny how they have this ability to jump and actually bend their heads forward sometimes when they're greyhounding. You wouldn't think they could do that, but they do it, and it's really cool. Those shots are always amazing.
And there's, again, more. Even though we have our cameraman, they have somebody else videoing as well.
You're already dead.
It's not like you're going to bring this fish to the boat and get a picture with it. You want to make contact with that leader.
Dead.
Be a qualified catch. We've already identified it. There's the leader, it looked like.
They caught another one on the. They caught another one on the remix. The Glastron.
And they're actually hearing the call-ins as well throughout the day. You hear them talking in the background. Boy, they've taken on a little bit of water there.
That's a high water alarm right there.
Oh, my goodness. Sail, yeah.
That's
that bucket's gonna leave the boat if they don't hurry.
I'll tell you what, Robbie, we had it up to the waist one day, and all the wells came loose. See those giant wells under the, and they were twice the size of those, and they were flying around, smashing into us. We lost everything we had: sunglasses, phones, filled the cockpit. I mean, it was bad. But see what happens here is the drains get plugged with like a wrapper or something, and you got to clear the drain. Sometimes you have a door you're going to open up to get that water out of the boat. But they got the release. Now it's time to clean up, and you know you learn your lesson. Maybe keeping the bucket a little forward. You don't expect it. It's draining very fast though.
Bilge can only push it out so much, and as you mentioned, it gets to a certain part, open the door, take off a little bit, and push it all out back. Reapply. Uh-oh.
Another bite. They're tight on that fish right there. That is called Rodney Rod Holder, and that is the one you want because that really gains you 75 points, and you don't even expect it. So we've got Lori on that fish.
So that's what happened earlier, Peter, is we knew that they had a double up, and we knew Lori was part of it. They lost that fish that they had earlier. That one didn't count.
So they had a triple zipple on. They had the real deal on there. It sounds like one came off there. Looks like one came off.
And this was the second of the two.
What boat is two? Is that the remix, the contender, or the glass boat? Yo, it's the Glass Tech. They just caught two in about 30 seconds.
Oh, they're right here.
Another jumper. Again, they
were
almost like flocks of sailfish. I'm giving the above water view, you know, like birds, you know, well, same thing, schools of fish. At least she has a more conventional, you know, right-hand reel setup this time.
Oh, man.
Thank you.
She's ambidextrous. She's got it.
It pains me to look at a spinning reel. Part of the program, and a much quicker, look at that catch and release, much quicker than we saw earlier with the other fish.
Yeah, they call those a suicide bite. They just come in, pop it out, you don't do anything, they come tight, snaps out, you're tight, you reel it right up, done deal.
Gripping with them extra tufts.
Steve said 2 queers in the tower. Steve, yeah, Steve's talking to.
Nice job. Great job, Lori. Again, that was a qualified catch at 11:55 this morning Eastern Time. Our Gulf Division boat number 2, McDowell, Becker, Holderman representing the Gulf.
And there they are live.
That boat's caught more than the entire Atlantic as it stands right now. Don't want to put that on them, but it's true.
Well, you're calling a tournament. You have to tell them what's going on. They have 3 fish.
It is what it is.
That's right.
That's right.
You see that little spool there with a little handle on it, that black spool, right? That is a leader spool, so you can just pull a fresh hook, crimped on with a leader with a knot, and clip it right onto your swivel. You got to be prepared with 50, 60 liters a day. That's the way to do your day, and if you got to make more, that is a good problem to have.
Ooh, that's a lot of liters. Looking at the leaderboard as it stands right now, looks like the Gulf is looking pretty strong for sailfish total for them. The Atlantic with a couple on board. Again, it's a 2-day competition. We're just in the midway of day 1.
When the ocean calls, only the bold answer. Out here, nothing compares to the thrill of the fight. When you hook a tournament-winning fish, you need a boat that's as relentless as you are. Unmatched power, unparalleled craftsmanship, the confidence to push further, fish harder, and arrive in style. HCB Yachts, the ultimate sport fishing experience.
Not really big into committing to things. I usually stop binging the show halfway through the first episode. I mean, remember when my hair was blonde for like 2 seconds? But when Verizon announced that I could lock in a low price for 3 years for both phone and internet, even if I'm already a customer, I was like, duh. I think 3 years in the future, Pete will be very proud of my decision. Look at me grow. Come on! Can you hear me now? I sure hope so.
Hey, AFCO Catch Alert. Gulf Boat 1 is hooked up. Welcome back from break. That's how you do it right there, Peter.
Straight in it.
Looks like Jeff Eisenek. As we were coming back from commercial, looked over and saw him winding fast. He was in the back of the cockpit there. Came tight. It looks like they're, ready and waiting for another bite, which is highly likely. Danny Watts standing by his side, ready to drop if he's got to, keeping that bait in the water.
Captain Danny. Yep.
Captain Danny West.
I guess
today.
he's just fishing Danny.
Today he's Angler Danny.
Yeah.
But he is a very well-known captain, very good at what he does.
Absolutely. West Florida Black Flags, both of these guys are used to being around each other. It's good to get Danny back. Instead of being in the cockpit and up there running the boat, he actually gets to fish for these little critters.
Look at that table there. It's like being in your garage and having a workbench. They've got everything there. You see those jigs, those are yellowtail jigs. You got, you put crabs on it for permit. These guys are ready for everything. Throw their nets up there so you don't throw them overboard. They don't get in your way, but that cutting board, I tell you, you look at it and you go, man, that thing's got to get in your way. But when you have it, it is gold. And it's a leaning post. See, they're fishing close to each other there. Well, that's not another tournament boat, I don't believe. It could be the glass tag. No, that's another sport fish.
We know this boat caught a mahi earlier. I know we'll talk about it in our next hour. We'll talk about some of the bait fish. The other fish are pretty tasty. The mahi go from in the water to in the boat, and you get to have it at night in Islands of Islamorada Resort.
When I get back from this trip we're doing here, Robbie, we're commentating on this show. That'll be the first thing I go do. Monday, I will be out there sail fishing. Look for some mahi. The wahoo bite's good right now. We got Mikey Pinaguera as a cameraman on that boat. He's tight with the two conch guys.
I got a little, yeah, it's not frog.
We talk about the mobility of these anglers and the boat enabling it. They went from the back to the front, and this might be one of those mahi we were talking about.
He just said it sounded like a bonehead, I think he said.
Is it?
Then you look at the different setups. You've got the kite rod there, that short rod with a Daiwa reel plugged in. And then some of the other boats will have the battery packs on them. And then what I use is the new Dominion with the butt. It has a battery in the actual butt. So it's all integrated, no cords, no nothing. You can run that thing around the boat, and it's the newest, greatest thing that I've ever used on my boat.
Dang it, Mackie, I wanted to see the fish.
I think it was a bonehead. I think they popped him off. Probably went to go lift him in and just popped him off. They're using 25-pound leader.
So was a shark for that boat, and yeah, there is another one just off of their shoulders there, over to the left. You see the kites up in the air. I believe I just heard them say they just saw something just a moment ago. So again, the boat's hanging around fairly tight. We see that fairly often. You want to go where the fish are, these guys know where to go.
And it's funny, a lot of times you'll see hammerhead sharks in the spread, and a lot of times you'll be frustrated, but that hammerhead somehow always draws in sailfish. I think the sailfish know the hammerhead's going to do some damage, and they'll pick up the scraps.
Pick up those scraps.
Yeah.
This guy, he's no scraps to our program. He's Scoops McGee, the man always on the move. Rudy Tamarcio, who's at the Islands of Islamorada Resort. Rudy, we've got the backdrop in our background here, but you've got the real thing. How are things there in Florida today?
I'm still a little too old to use the Gen Z's IRL, but yes, the backdrop is in real life here. It's been beautiful. A few of our team has been here since Wednesday, and also lots of fun games out here for all of our athletes, our all-star anglers, captains, and mates. But don't take my word for it. We got this put together for you to show you everything behind the scenes at the Islands of Islamorada.
Good morning, I'm Russ Post. I own Ocean Sotheby's International Realty, which represents the Islands of Islamorada, and we're flattered to be the host site for the SFC.
What makes the Islands of Islamorada so special is it's truly a hidden gem, located in the heart of Islamorada, yet you feel like once you enter, you're a world away. We're surrounded by lush tropical landscaping, and we're on 7 acres of oceanfront, directly located on the Atlantic Ocean. If you're an outdoor enthusiast, we have everything for you. We've got deep sea sport fishing just offshore, world-class flats fishing and backcountry fishing literally at your fingertips, minutes away.
Historically, fishing in the Keys has been kind of a rugged and public event. Thanks to this development, now you can bring your family.
The families here have a really luxurious experience. It's a laid-back experience, but it's truly 5-star.
What's really unusual in the Florida Keys is a swimming beach, and we're fortunate to have that.
So to be able to incorporate a beach into the Keys lifestyle is really special. We've got water sports available from paddleboard to the Hobie Cats. We have pickleball courts, a playground for children. We have a concierge staff, so any of your needs if you're staying ashore can be met. While this is a 5-star resort, I mean, the villas are top-notch. They're 4 bedrooms. They offer full kitchens. Every villa has an ocean view. All of your luxury needs can be met, but it also offers a very serene, peaceful, laid-back, truly Florida Keys experience. Islamorada is the heart of the Florida Keys, and it's also one of the premier destinations.
We're also located within minutes of the art scene, the fine restaurants and bars, and many family amenities like Theater of the Sea that are close by. So it's pretty special.
The Islands of Islamorada is excited to host the SFC All-Star Weekend. I think we're uniquely positioned to host these anglers from around the country. The outdoor spaces, the intimate environment that they can all be fishing all day but come back to basically home, sit around the fire pit, share their fishing stories, have a couple drinks at the tiki bar, go for a swim. It's really ideal, and we're very excited to host them.
Well, Rudy, it looks like Russ got a great property there. Now I get to see it more in depth. There's not much that place doesn't have. If you're going down to the Florida Keys, there's the crazy zone down there at the bottom, and then you've got Islamorada, where if you love to fish, you love to kick back and have a good time, you got it taken care of.
A million things to do, and something that everybody has found an activity over the course of the past couple of days. I mean, we did our media day with those athletes. Remix was playing on the pickleball court. We had guys out there crushing those golf balls in the tee box. By the way, those golf balls made out of fish food, kind of similar to what Carl Allen has on his expedition yacht. So biodegradable, really good for the environment. And also, hey, if you shank one, at least you're hitting water no matter what. So the hazard in this space is a good reason. And you got Alligator Reef Lighthouse right onto your on your right-hand side, so really pretty.
If that's not a great fun fact, Rudy, I've always wondered about that. I'm thinking, you know, we've seen it on Seinfeld when Kramer, you know, he's hitting golf balls off the beach, it goes into the whale's blowhole, and George has to retrieve it because he is apparently, you know.
That was funny.
Yeah, anyway, it's nice to know that they're feeding the fish with those golf balls, and hopefully they can drill them out there 300 yards, you know, like Robbie does. Robbie plays golf about every 5 seconds.
I got to hurt deep.
But yeah, it looks like you're having a good time there, Rudy, and we're excited to be there. You know, Russ Post, I saw him there. Russ Post and I had a drink one night at Ocean Reef, and he is a big-time dude. He was telling me stories about hanging out with Frank Sinatra back in the day, and he knows all the big heavy hitters, and he's a cool dude. So did you get a chance to talk to him? Anybody hang with him?
Russ Post is a legend. So he introduced me back to Jimmy Graham. We went to college together. He got me his phone number. We was texting last night, catching up.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Hey, Rudy, I know we're going to make a move here in just a bit to ESPN Plus, and we'll have you back on with us. I hear there was some trash talk in between the guys last night. I don't let the cat out of the bag now, but safe to say that they were talking trash. Is that true?
Really fun trash talk. We'll catch it on ESPN.
All right, bud, we'll see you on the next hour, making our move to ESPN Plus next.
It's hard to beat out here catching very quality fish that taste very good. And
looking good. Big tuna right here for the boys.
Nothing but monsters.
beautiful fish, John. That's why you come hang out with us boys right here.